that is the sound of the jar of names. We shall get out a name from the jar of names. I've got a few in my hand, actually. Let me get a few. Let me get these names out. Air stuff will do too. Why not? So this video is for everyone, including but not excluded to Bernard Termere and Horia. Look at that. 2 names. Anyway, this is Cup of Tea in a Podcast. This is the Cup of Tea. And now we shall get on to the podcast. Right. This week, if you can head to the skip list in the comments, it should be there. It might not be, though, so bear that in mind. You can skip to this week's update, this week's topic, this week's question, and this week's goals. Right, update. So, last week, what was it? After the last podcast. Is that right? Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that is correct. Unfortunately, I missed Fable 2. A few people were a bit annoyed about that. Unfortunately, though, it's because I obviously left everything to the last minute and I didn't want to just shove everything out. So I had 2 days, was it? So I just put up 2 episodes I had of which was Dark Chronicle and Yonder. They were already recorded. So that's why there was no Fable, because I hadn't actually recorded it and I didn't have time to upload it. However, that is now going to be pushed to this week. So obviously last week's Fable 2 episode is going to be out after this podcast. And then we'll hopefully resume next podcast week, because obviously I've done the same this week where I have not uploaded anything until the last minute. But the reason because of that is because I was doing my, I can tell you what it is now, my D23 breakdown video. I did a lot of work for it. It took a long time to get it done. And sadly, twice I recorded it. Once I was not happy with it because I was out of focus and the audio seemed to have some funny problems with it. And the second time, the audio problems still persisted. For some reason, my HD audio that I recorded, I'm calling it HD because I use my microphone, not my camera, to record it. It had some not graphical, that's video. It had some breaks in it. And for some reason, I don't know why, but it happened, and I was just like, do you know what? Do I do it again, or do I just move on? So I've moved on, because obviously D23 was a long time ago anyway, so I've just had to cancel that video, so now we're just going to go straight on to the next one, which I have ready and need to edit and everything. Yes, that's why that happened. That's why it was a few bad things happening on, because that's happened. And unfortunately, it's been about... How long has it been since I recorded the last podcast? A little over a week, and in that time, it's been quite bad, personally, for myself, including the fact, because I've had a few bad comments, unfortunately, they're very nerd, sort of nitpicky things. And I think because of that, because I'm so bogged down with all the work I need to do as well, it's all sort of caught up with me, and I was thinking... I'm going to be honest... I was even tempted to restart the gaming videos again, because that's what happens when I don't like things, when things aren't quite up to the way I want them to be. I just like to cancel it all again and start and restart. And so that went through my mind at some point this week. But don't worry, I'm not going to anymore. I've talked myself out of it, and I'm a lot better now. But that did happen, and that's always going to be something that draws me in, because I like I like the idea of a clean start. And obviously I get to do the Assassin's Creed games again and make them better. But even though they probably turn out no different, because that's what would happen. But it's just what I like doing, because I have to make all these changes. I feel like I can go back to these old Let's Plays and make them better. But then obviously all the memories we've created through these videos, it seems a bit pointless deleting them all. So it's just one of those things. So don't worry, I'm not going to be doing that. I'm just saying that that's the sort of week I've had where I felt like doing that. But yeah, should we move on, or have I just covered everything I want to do in this update? I think I have, yeah. Anyway, let's go on to names and tell you what's going to be happening this week in video-wise. Right, so this is the podcast. You're listening to it right now. Hello. It's podcast. And then after this, we're going to have a Fable 2 video called Raise Dead. That's it. That's what it's called. That's a Fable 2 episode. And that's all we're going to have until the next podcast. Hopefully, in that time, we'll also have a Cup of Adventure video, and that should hopefully be decent. So that's the 2 episodes we'll have this week. But no more gaming covers, obviously. I want to get the next podcast out on Monday, so that's the new way we're doing things, which I think seems to be working. Right, so that's that then. Let's go on to the next thing, because that was very quick. Very quick indeed. Right, well, now we can go on to the community section then, shall we? So these are the people that commented on... Actually, no, before we do that, we'll go on to the hint. So the hint was obviously it was a 13th birthday thingy, and that was because it was Purple Cookie's 13th birthday. So yes, happy birthday, Purple Cookies. Obviously that was a few days ago, though. Indeed. Now we can go on now to... In fact, actually, that should have been out before this podcast. That was the 12th. Oh, wow. That was a week ago. Damn. Anyway, moving on from that one, let's just carry on. Let's just keep going. Yeah, the hint for this week's video of Cup of Adventure 1 is it's a baked item that's named after a colour. I'll leave that with you if you wish. Right, but now we'll go on to the community section, go on to Mention Monday. These are the people that commented on last week's videos, and we say thank you this week to 6 names. One of those is Horia, Max Ravage, Overlord Master, Bernard Tamir, Dragonlord 55511, and 12. So that's everybody, that's all 6. So yeah, welcome. Thank you very much. I actually didn't get this week's, because yeah, we're going to go on to Q&A. I don't have any questions this week, but I just need to quickly... I can do that. Never mind. Sorry, it's planning ahead. I'll get onto it in a second. But we're going to go to subscribers first. And so last week we were at 1,407. This week we've gone down 16 names. I told you a big thing was going to happen because obviously I think old channels get deleted and things like that happen. So I think that's why obviously some people could have unsubscribed as well, which is probably also the case. But this week we've gone down to 1,391. But that's gone up quite quickly as well, because like 3 days ago it was like 1,370, so it's gone up quite fast anyway. But this week we welcome new people to the community. We welcome Caged Rescue, Martin Espinoza, O-Dog, The Real MCX, Icarus Dark, and 12 as well. 12 also put a little comment, so yeah, nice to see you back. In fact, I think 12 was a long time commenter, because he commented a long time ago, because that is what he said in his comment. So it's nice to see you back, 12. Right, now we're going to go on to question. Last week's question, this is what I was looking at a second ago, was about the 40-minute episodes. Now, I didn't actually get any of the comments from the video, because I didn't think anyone actually answered, but now looking at the question, because I didn't actually look at the question last time, some people did. I believe it was only one person, I'm about to find out. Let me just quickly have a quick scan, just to see what's going on. Yes, here we go, actually. If I put it in order of who came first, then I'll know what's going on, won't I? Indeed. Perfect. Right, so we have... Let's keep going. Bernard Tamir said the videos he likes long videos, but he thinks Yonder is a little bit too long. I'm personally going to stick with the long episodes of Yonder because I, for one, enjoy playing it for that long. And although you don't like it personally, Bernard Tamir, I know you like long videos, so obviously other things that'll be fine with. But specifically Yonder at the moment, I'm going to stick to the 40 minutes just because, like I said, I enjoy it like that. And at the end of the day, like I said was it last week? It might be the week before. Me trying to think about why I do this, it's both to build up a community, so we can all discuss things and talk together. I suppose building up friendship, I suppose you could call it. And also because I like to play the games as well, and since I like playing the Yonder, I like to do it a little bit longer than 40 minutes. I feel like 40 minutes, I feel like I can get a lot done, and I really enjoy it. So that's probably why I'm going to stick with 40 minutes. But I apologise for not matching up to what you wanted, Bernard Tamir. But hopefully you'll enjoy the rest of the videos. Obviously, Yonder I don't think will take very long to finish anyway. But hopefully you still continue to like longer videos for other things such as Fable 2 and things after that. Although I've been thinking about that actually. When can I talk about that? So I can talk about it now. So that was... Is that it? Actually, maybe just quick check. No, we've got another one. Max Ravage said he liked long videos considering he actually watches streams, which, well, yeah, they go on for hours, don't they? So, yeah, I see what you're saying, Max. Yeah. Cool. Right, anyway, this is a show I suppose I should put it earlier in the update or topic, but basically, I'm thinking of moving towards doing... I'll keep doing Let's Plays because I like doing Let's Plays. I like the long journey of doing that and obviously the way we grow, the story and stuff like that. I like that. But I'm also going to consider doing some other things such as like one-off videos, like taking a quick look at a game. And I thought this would also be a great thing because obviously the reason behind this is Jesse Cox, when he does his Fan Fridays and stuff like that. That's the whole sort of thing that I'm looking at in terms of research. But what I'm particularly thinking is I could do something very similar in terms of like the fan suggestion things, and obviously there are a lot of things that people want me to play. So I'm thinking I can definitely do that. For example, Mr. Big White 661199 wants me to do the Darkness. So whether or not I do a full Let's Play of that in the future, possibly, but that'll be a long time in the future. So perhaps what I can do is play it for one episode, so say 40 minutes of it, see what people think. If people really, really like it, then obviously I can move it further up scale. So very similar to what I did with the whole tea break thing that I did a while back. So maybe I can revive that and change it slightly. But I'm thinking that's something I might try to look at in the future. So that way, in a week, we can maybe have 2 episodes of a Let's Play and then 1 episode of a one-off game. So it'll be different each week. But let me know what you think about that. That's not this week's question. But do you know what? That is actually a very good segue. It could be. It is. You get 2 this week. That's one of them. But the real this week's question this week is I'm thinking about pointing, and personally I'm thinking about getting rid of pointing, just because putting all of the pointless stuff, is what I'm going to call it, in a single video is just a recipe for disaster, isn't it, really? So if you put in the stuff that people don't like watching all the time into an episode, that video itself is not going to be great. So what I might do is I'm thinking about changing it. Where's my list of things to do now? So I think I'm just basically going to stop doing the pointing. That way is not a big, massive push of videos. But I've got some reasons why. So like stuff like I can cut out the grindings, like in RPGs and stuff. There's a few things that I've been thinking about, because like I say in Assassin's Creed games, that's something I've been doing quite a lot of. Obviously I can get rid of the collectibles and stuff because that's not a problem, but in things like RPGs is where it's going to happen the most. Leveling, obviously I can cut out, that's not a problem. Obviously maybe spending skill points I can keep in based on what Horia said in the past. Exploring, that's one of those things I'm not too sure about, but I'm thinking of adding that into something else. But the other thing I'm big on as well is the books and reading. I love reading the books in the pointing episodes, and I'm thinking if I stop the pointing, that's probably going to be the biggest thing I'm going to miss personally. So what I'm thinking as well of what I could do with that is, if I ever wanted to do that on camera, I could always do a live stream where I can put that sort of stuff in, because I think live stream, like I said before, the makeup of what makes a live stream is different. It is technically longer, more, I want to say boring things. It's not boring things, but it can be, and it's stuff like that, that's what I'm thinking. But that might happen halfway through Fable 2, because Fable 2 is like my practice one. Obviously I'm not sure about Dark Chronicle. I might implement that straight away now as well, but then since I've nearly finished the game, I might keep it in still. But so I might implement it in Fable 2 just to try it out. Even though I do know people have said they do like the Fable 2 pointing episodes, but what I'm going to do is the things that people like in the Fable 2 pointing episodes, I'll put in the Fable 2 normal episodes. But I'm not sure what they like about Fable 2, so I guess that's another question. That's 3. Wow, impressive. Right, let's move on then. What's next? It is this week's theme. All right, this week's theme then is one of a community nature. It's Max Ravage basically been saying he's missed writing a skip list. That's perfectly fine. And he's saying that life isn't really good at the moment, and his depression is, well, it's making him think of stupid things aimed at himself. So I would stop there, Max Ravage. I know exactly where you're coming from, because this, like I said, this week I've been through the same sort of things where I'm thinking, that my videos aren't quite up to where I want them to be, plus also a few those, I don't want to say negative comments, but comments that were more focused on the negative things. Yeah, that's a good description. Going with that. So obviously all that sort of built up towards me, and that's sort of like maybe thinking like, oh, what did the point of doing a video? Not doing the videos, because I want to do the videos, but it makes me think about starting again, making it better, instead of moving forward and having a history. Like I said earlier, I don't need to say it again. But basically, I know where you're coming from. I've been in the same sort of boat this week as well. So I thought I wanted to say that, you don't have to be. Don't try to choose not to. You can't choose happiness. It's not a thing that you do choose. It's... I thought of this the other day. I always often think of philosophical things. And what I was thinking of is, happiness is not a choice. It's... what was it I said? I can't remember what I said. I think I said it's like... no, I can't remember, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I tried. It's basically... Yeah, but basically you just need to do things that you enjoy doing. And if something's not right in your life, you need to work with it to change it. I personally don't know the details about why your depression has come back to Max Ravage, but we're always here for you. If you ever need to chat, send me a message or something like that. We'll get something going or something. But yeah, let me know what's going on, Max. If you're fine, let me know. If not, I'm here to talk, buddy. You let me know. But personally, I've been in the same boat, so you're not alone. I've been through the same troubles this week as well. But at the moment, like I said, I've come out of that sort of lull, I'm going to call it, because I've been focusing on looking at the future and getting things done. Even though I've still got a lot of things to catch up on, but I've still been focusing towards the future. Anyway, that's that. So yeah, let me know, Max, if you're all right. Cool. Goals is next then. So I can't remember what the goal was. What was it? It was to get the podcast out on Monday. Well, that completely bloody failed, didn't it? It's Sunday. That did not work, and it might even be Monday by the time this is out. Which is bad, unfortunately. This week's goal is to have a good week, which is not going to happen. I wrote this on the Monday when this was supposed to be out. It's to have a good week, getting everything out on time. Did not happen. We're putting this up on the last day. That's great, isn't it? So I'm going to change that one into getting the podcast out tomorrow, basically. So that means things I have to do before I can do that is to get the Fable 2 video out and to get the Couple Adventure video out. That's all I need to do before I can do that podcast. So hopefully I can do that. Get my head down, get it done. Fingers crossed. So that's that. But yeah, we've gone to the outro now then. So last week's what film? What was it? I can't remember what it was. What was it? The racing is... yes. It was Cars 3. The racing is the reward, not the stuff. It's a quote from that. Anyway, let's finish this cup of tea. But hopefully everyone has a good day before we see you again tomorrow for the podcast. Stay frosty, people. Stay cheery. Anyone wants to chat, let me know. Say in the comments. I'll keep an eye on it. Have a little talk in the comments if everybody wants some. What I need to get done, though, is I need to edit the Couple Adventure video. And I want to record some Fable 2, because I want to make sure that's recorded for next week, because I know people like that. And yeah, most of it's just pretty much preparing for tomorrow. Like doing a Couple Adventure document, so I know what I'm doing for the video-wise, and editing certain videos to upload. But that's that. Right, so hopefully everything goes well. I'll see you all tomorrow for another podcast, and then we'll get going. Also, university's coming up soon. We'll talk more about that later. Right, cool. See you later then, everybody. I'll leave you now with what film? But sadly his time in the world came to an end, and like the cycle of the seasons, the cycle of the Avatar began anew.